COVID-19 has thrown us into a new era of telemedicine. What is telemedicine? Telemedicine is when you can have a consult with your doctor over the phone or through means of video communication, video calls. This obviously is very helpful at the moment, while we are all trying to stay at home as much as possible to prevent spread of the virus. So like many people, I have my mum who is at home at the moment. She's over 65, so she can't go home. I haven't seen her in 3 weeks. So obviously I worry. I'm a doctor, I worry about her. So I have prepared a medical goodie bag, a medical kit with a few items that I thought would help if she needed to call her doctor, sometimes me. This would also be helpful for anyone who's at home in the moment with chronic conditions, say, who need to call their GP, or when you get called by the specialist from Mater Dei. At the moment we are doing our follow-up consults over the phone as much as possible, or indeed if you have COVID-19 and you're at home and you're being followed up with the COVID-19 helpline doctors. And it would help if you can give the doctors useful bits of information to help them make the right decisions. So what's in this goodie bag? So the first thing I put in there was a digital blood pressure monitor. This comes in a box and you need to assemble it, but it's quite simple. It comes with batteries in the box. And you use this by wearing it on the sleeve here, on the arm. Like that. It doesn't take much knowledge, and with the press of a button, within a few seconds you can get a blood pressure level and a pulse rate, how fast your heart rate is. Now this is useful obviously in people who have high blood pressure, diabetes, problems with their heart. It's good to know if the blood pressure is under control, and to see if you need any adjustments with medications. If, say, you're feeling dizzy, if you've lost consciousness, it's always good to have a reading. And lo and behold, this is my reading. It's 132/90, which is good. And my pulse rate is 81. A little bit fast, but because I'm doing this video. If you're sick with COVID, if you're very sick with COVID, then your blood pressure might go down. And that is a bad sign. So it's good for your doctor to know that. A second thing I put in the bag is a pulse oximeter. Now what does this do? This takes a reading of the oxygen level in your blood, and also a pulse rate. And within seconds you'll know how much oxygen. Now if you are someone who suffers from lung disease, say asthma or COPD, or heart disease even, including heart failure, it's good to know how much your oxygen levels are. Also, if you are unwell with COVID, one of the things COVID does is that it can lower your oxygen levels, and that is usually a bad sign. So it's good to know that reading. And here I have a reading, so my oxygen level is 99%, which is good, and my pulse rate is 85. So see, that's a bit of useful information. Another very important thing at the moment is a thermometer, I've put a digital thermometer. In this case, you can put it, there are ones you can put in the mouth or under the arm, or ones in the ear, as long as you can get a reading. COVID causes fever, so it's good to know if you have fever or not. Another thing I put in there is a blood glucose monitor. And this comes with a monitor, the little lancets to prick your finger with, and strips where you put that little drop of blood. Now my mum isn't diabetic, but if, say, she calls me to say she's feeling dizzy or she's lost consciousness, I would want to know what her blood glucose level is. If you're diabetic, you're at home, you want to make sure that your glucose is under control. At the moment, with stress and even other illnesses, your blood glucose can lose its control. If you have COVID and you're unwell with an infection, your blood glucose can lose its control. So it's good to be able to measure that. And finally, I've put in there bathroom weighing scales. If you suffer from, say, heart failure, if your weight goes up, It means that you're accumulating fluid in your lungs, and that is a sign that you might need us to increase your water tablets, or you might need to come in hospital. So it's good to weigh yourself. If you are an elderly person at home, you're alone, you live with no one, you're feeling depressed because of this era of COVID, you stop eating and your weight starts going down, that is a bad sign. So it's good to ask your elderly relatives or your relatives who are at home alone to take a weight at baseline now, and then check their weight, say twice a week or so you can keep an eye on them. So with this medical home kit, I can keep an eye on my mum, and all of you can keep an eye on your elderly relatives at home or relatives with chronic disease. And if they have to call the doctor, or if the specialists call them, or if they have COVID at home and are on the line with the COVID doctors, then they can give very useful information to their doctors to help them make decisions. These items are all available at the moment at agents and shops that sell medical equipment. Obviously, stocks are not massive at the moment, so please let's be considerate and only buy what we need, and one item of each per household is enough, just so that we make sure there's enough to go around for everyone. And with that, I conclude for today. Thank you and keep safe. Bye-bye.